Pressed Fibers Knitting Podcast. It is where I talk about all of the things that I have been making. Today is March 10th. It's a Friday, and it is a snowy day here in Northwest Montana. We're in the middle of about a 2-day storm. So it has been quite a while since I last podcast. It was about mid-December. So I have quite a bit to catch up on. And instead of doing the typical format where I do my finished objects and my works in progress, I'm just going to take you through them chronologically. I have 12 different things that I've been working on. Not all of them are new. Phew. Some are ones that I've picked up from the past that I've started working on again. Some of them are new. So the most notable one would be what I'm wearing. This is the Robinson cardigan, and the designer is Handmade by Florence. And this is perhaps slightly familiar if you've watched any of my previous episodes. So in the last episode, I was working on the Wrap Me Up Again cardigan by Plum Mum. And I had finished that podcast saying I'm going to keep plugging through it, and if I end up not wearing it, that's okay, I'll just gift it to somebody. Well, that cardigan was meant to be worn for my daughter's wedding at the beginning of January, and the more I worked on it, the more unhappy I was. I really wanted to wear a specific dress that I had in my wardrobe, and I wanted the cardigan to go with it, and it just wasn't going together nicely. So on Christmas Eve, my daughter and I ripped it out. And that was silk alpaca, Surrey alpaca silk, and then one strand of fingering. So I was holding those double to make DK weight, and we ripped that out. She helped me, one of us winding up the fingering weight while the other one did the Surrey alpaca. And the next day, Christmas morning, I cast on the Robinson cardigan. So again, this is Handmade by Florence, and the pattern was just coming out. Like maybe it had been out for a couple weeks, I'm not positive. But when I had been scrolling through maybe Instagram, I found it, and I instantly knew that that was the cardigan that would go with the dress. So I started that on Christmas Day, and let's see, the alterations I did was after the raglan. I have to look at my notes here. I did 2 extra rounds of stockinette before I did another 4-row repeat. So I wanted to make this not as fitted as hers. So I made it just a little bit softer, and then I continued with the rest of the pattern. So that was all before I did the divide for sleeves, if I didn't say that. So that took me through to about January 5th is when I finished my second sleeve, and I cast on the button band. Yes, I had to make sure it was called a button band, even though there's not buttons on this. January 6th, I finished the button band. January 7th, I added the tie. Here, I'll stand up. I don't have the right outfit on for this. I just have jeans on. It would be perfect with a skirt, but so I did this tie on January 7th, and my notes say 8 a.m. The next day at 8 a.m., I would have been on my way to my daughter's wedding. So it was a very tight finish, but I got it done because I had no alternatives. I had ordered 2 dresses online, tried them on, and those were a hard no. So I had to finish this to make it work, and we had it done just in time. I did not have it blocked, like wet blocked to dry blocked. I just steam blocked it at my daughter's condo. Right around the same time I was ironing all the tablecloths for the wedding reception. So we got it done in time, and I really like it. It's super warm. It looked great with the outfit. I was not going to put on the outfit for the podcast because the dress is linen, and that would have required like an hour's worth of ironing because that dress is hard to iron out all the wrinkles. But I was very, very pleased that it worked, and her wedding was gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. It was a Sunday morning up in Rocky Mountain National Park, and she'd reserved a spot right next to a lake that was frozen over, and her fiance slash husband to be were out on the lake having their pictures taken, and yeah, it was beautiful, simply gorgeous. We don't have the pictures back yet, but if she says I can, I will share some of the pictures because it was very cool. All right, so this is the 1 out of 12. I am going to continue on with other things that have been on my needles since that time frame. Obviously, from mid-December through January 8th, this was the only thing I was working on. After that, I started working on a pair of socks, and I was actually using a colorway that I thought was going to be my colorway for the first Beekeeper's Journal collection, and it was going to be hollyhocks. And as I was knitting it up, all of my family members, every single one, had walked past and said, "Oh, that looks like a Christmas colorway." And I had been thinking the exact same thing. And I was like, this is 1 month after Christmas. I don't want to be sending out a colorway that's so reminiscent of Christmas. So I changed the January colorway before it even saw light. And those socks, I got one sock almost finished and decided I'm just going to put them off to the side. I'm going to work on them later this year when I'm putting together my Christmas colorways that will be coming out probably May for Christmas and July orders. So I will hold on to that for a little bit. It's, yeah, you'll see it then. And so that one I was using a Sock Witchery, which is Lindsay. I was using her pattern Thursday Socks for that one. I'm not going to show it though. Number 3 is and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, it's Entre Shot, and that's by Lisa Chemery. And I have it on the blocking mat here. So I just finished blocking this, and it's probably actually dry enough to take off of here. I wanted to get it blocked. I'm giving it to my son to give to one of his friends who had a baby girl last year. And I did the 12-month size, hoping that it might work for Easter, although at the same time we saw the baby at the wedding, my daughter's wedding, and the baby's still pretty tiny. So I'm thinking 12-month, maybe even this fall, I don't know. So, but anyways, it's done, and this friend of his was the set designer for when he was in acting in high school. So this man had previously been a part of the acting group. His wife as well had actually been part of the acting group. And after they had finished and moved on, they came back to be volunteers for the set design. And my son always did set design with him, and they became good friends. So I figured it would be fun to give them a little baby knit gift. And I think this actually catches me up on all of the babies. So I have one more pattern that I want to make that's a baby pattern, although maybe a toddler pattern. It was also by Lisa Chemery, and I'll put a picture of it up here or here, I don't know, somewhere. I don't remember the name of it. I'm pretty sure it had newborn all the way through toddler, but super cute. And that might be one that I also make, or just make and have in a little to be gifted at some point stack of one. I have no knits that haven't been gifted immediately. Okay, so let's see. I started this on January 26th, and I used the Samia, which is by BC Garn. It's technically a DK weight, and this, I bought the fingering weight version of it, but the gauge was spot on, so I figured I could use it for this, and it's got very nice drape and everything, so it was not too thick of a yarn. It showed the detail of the stitches really nicely, so I'm pleased with that. The color is Turquoise, which is 24, I think is the color number. And then I finished this on March 5th, and of course just now blocked it. My son is coming home for spring break, and I figured this would easily fit in his backpack on the way home, so he can gift it to the little babykins when he gets back home. And that Semilla yarn you can get at Dapper Sheep, which is one of my online shops. The other reason I wanted to bring this up was Opal Knits, which is Erica and Daphne, are doing a kids make along, and I'll put their hashtag up down here, but check out their YouTube channel for information about it. I believe it goes through the end of April. So Daphne is expecting, and so they figured they would do a knit along of children's items. So I'm going to be entering that in their make along. Okay, so the fourth thing that I have been working on is a hot water bottle holder, and I actually have the hot water bottle in here because I keep measuring it as I go. The pattern I'm using is called All You Need, and it's the DK Aran weight version. I am using Rauma Finull, and the colorways are, let's see, the light color, the white color is Light Beige Heather, which is 4078. And the red color is Dark Red Heather, which is 4120. And from this, you can't yet tell what it's going to become. So the pattern is just a shaping pattern. There's no design to it. So I have taken the pattern, oh, I just found an error that I made, such is life. I am taking the pattern from the Dala horse, or Dala Sweater. I bought that pattern to make the sweater eventually, but I'm modifying it right now to go on to a hot water bottle, and I'll put a picture of it up so you can see what it's supposed to look like. This is going to be a Christmas present, so obviously I'm in no rush to get it done. I figure if I just work on it every now and then, it will get done, no sweat, and that will be great. I love Dala horses, and it was funny because I got a stitch marker. I think I even opened it on my last podcast, and it was a Dala horse, and I was like, I love Dala horses. And then I saw that a pattern came out that was Dala horses, so I had to get it. And it's a fingering weight pattern. I'm just using it, the motif of it, to put it on here as a DK weight. That pattern is by Elenor Mortensen. And oh, I never mentioned that the All You Need pattern for the hot water bottle is Eva Kuehlmann. So both of those are happening. It's just the hot water bottle one happened first. And I'm thinking I started this mid-January. So we'll say January 15th is when this one went on the needles. And yeah, plenty of time. You guys will be seeing more of that as it progresses. Hopefully becomes more looking like a Dala horse here very soon. I just got the legs on it. All right, so the number 5 on my list is one that you've seen. This is the second sock. I started this second sock Valentine's Day. We were driving to the cemetery, the Riverside National Cemetery in California, and that is where my mother-in-law was recently. We recently had her funeral there. So on the way there, I pretty much did all of this, I think. So I have almost a repeat and a half done. And this is Night Owl Fibers Lion Witch Wardrobe, which of course is a tribute to the C.S. Lewis book. And I do not have this in the shop right now. We have more on order, and Rachel will be getting it to us soon. It doesn't come with this many. That was just something that I had in my stock of my own stash. That's what I meant to say, in my own stash. She has a different mini that goes with it. But I'm doing the String of Lights pattern, which is Lindsay of Sock Witchery. And like I said, this is the second sock. So I will keep plugging away on those. And you can follow me on Instagram, Dapper Sheep, and you'll know when this is back in stock. Hi, Aggie. My puppy pie hears me talking down here, so she had to come check us out. Good girl. Yeah. Alrighty. Next up is number 6, which is the first sock of the Beatrix Potter for the, let's see, this would be the February colorway? Yes, February colorway. And when did I start it? I started this January 25th, and I did not write down when I finished the first sock. If you have not yet seen your shipment, and you don't want to, you'll want to look away, although I know everybody's has been delivered. So this is the Tale of the Flopsy Bunnies, and I named it Nursery Garden. So what I do is I look through Beatrix Potter's books to get color inspiration, and yeah, I had to get this one on the needles right away. I was so in love with the colorway. It turned out great. It's just a vanilla sock, 64 stitches in the round. And let's see if I have anything else to tell you. Yep, I didn't write down any other ending details for it. I will get the other one on the needles soon. And yeah, we already have the March colorway out, which is Smears of Honey. That's taken from The Tale of Mrs. Tittlemouse. If you're not familiar with that book, Mrs. Tittlemouse is a clean freak, and having people over, unexpected or otherwise, stresses her out. So there were smears of honey everywhere, thanks to the frog or toad that comes over. All right, number 7 is another sock, and it's also another vanilla sock. So this is Opal, and this is in the Schafpata. I try to do a German accent and then I mess myself up. So Schafpata. That sounds better, Schafpata. And I started this also on January 25th. I cast on too. This one I also didn't write down a finish date, and it is also a vanilla sock. Now, all of my socks are a heel flap gusset. This time I did the slip stitch heel. Almost every other time I do an Eye of Partridge, but this one was a slip stitch heel. It turned out great. These will be great sturdy socks. And this is, I don't think I wrote down the color number. No, I didn't. I'll put it up on the screen for you. But I definitely have more of that in stock at dappersheep.com. The Dapper Sheep. Oh, I did want to mention that. So I have started the second sock on this, and it is here. I just dumped the yarn on the floor. It does not have needles on it because I stole the needles for one of the other projects I'm going to show you. So I took the needles off of the interchangeable ends. But in order to get them matchy-matchy, I had to take out this much yarn, and that was just from where this one ended to where I wanted to start this one, equated to that. If you have an issue with trying to get your patterning to match, Anna Knitter on YouTube has a tutorial on how to make this happen so you can make sure that you're hitting it at just the right spot. So if you're interested, check out the Anna Knitter podcast for that. All right, so that was number 7. Going on to number 8 is one that I can't show you. I will put a picture up though. It has already been gifted, and it was gifted to my son for Valentine's Day. If you follow me on Instagram for Holly Press Fibers, you will have seen a picture of those. It was with this colorway, and this was called See You Later Alligator. And let's see. Well, first, this was, of course, a whirlwind project. Beginning of February, like right around the 2nd or 3rd, I decided I wanted to do this. And I didn't have a colorway I wanted to make. So I dyed up a colorway. And the next day, as it was drying, I grabbed the skein. This is on the Wayfarer base, so it's a 2-ply. 80-20, so 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. I grabbed this and went up to our dryer that's got one of those flat racks that you can put in it, put the skein in there, got that thing dried so I could put it on the ball winder, and immediately cast on some vanilla socks for him. So by around the 3rd is when I started knitting his socks, and I had them done 72 stitches in the round on size 11.5 men's. I had them done on the 10th. Pretty dang good. I've been bragging about that forever. So yeah, in about a week I got 2 socks done. I did nothing else other than knit. But I had them done, got them in the mail to him, and he got them on Valentine's Day. So he desperately needed new socks, or at least what I would consider desperately. I had not knit him any new socks since I started his blanket project, and I'd been saying this takes care of socks for ages because this blanket is going to be huge. It's a twin-size blanket. And then when we went out during my daughter's wedding, they lived in a condo together, so we were all together, and I saw his sock collection, and I was like, that's sad. That is sad. So I decided, even though I'm still working on his blanket, the guy still needs more socks. So I got him another pair of socks. I'm hoping to get some more socks going for him here soon so he can start to replenish that sock drawer. He wears either store-bought wool socks or handmade wool socks year-round. So he just loves wool socks. Same as me, I wear wool socks year-round. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's everything on that pair. So that was 8. Now on to number 9. Sorry about the rattling again. Okay, I cast on another string of lights. So that would be Lindsay Sock Witchery, and try not to drop it. I have this one on the Champagne Supernova Freckled Whimsy, and this is also a self-striper that I have in the Dapper Sheep. This is turning into quite the commercial, I promise. Not what I was intending, just happened that way. Yeah, so Champagne Supernova, and you can see the mini that she has that goes with it. I'm doing an Eye of Partridge heel, 64 stitches in the round, string of lights pattern. Oh, I have on here a little progress keeper, can I? And that is by Anna of the Shepherd's Hook. I don't think any of my other projects up to this point had any progress keepers on them. If they did, it is likely that they were Anna's for the Shepherd's Hook. She sells hers on eBay, so I think her name on eBay is the Shepherd's Hook Handmade Goods. So you can check her out there. These have been lots of fun. The string of lights pattern is so fast. You just keep wanting to do it, and of course, pair that with self-striping and it's like non-stop. So I will keep working on that pair. This I'm thinking is for me. You never know though, because I'll get partway through a project and all I have to hear is ooh, ah, and suddenly I'm like, oh, they're yours. So we shall see. I really like this though. Okay. Now that you've been sockified, do I have another sock? I don't. I have another project that is not a sock. This is the Trilbani top, and up until this point, I've only ever shown you black and white because I started this just shortly before I actually started my podcast, and it was a colorway that I was planning on being in my 2022 Advent mini skein set. I was like, oh gosh, I can't show it if, you know, the mini skein set's supposed to be a surprise. So I kind of just didn't work on it very often because I knew I couldn't show it. But here it is. So this is the Trilbani top, and this is by Tammy Gore, who is Narrow Path Designs, or on Etsy, I think she's Narrow Path Knit Designs. So it's a really cool leaf motif and goes all the way around. These sleeves are supposed to be short sleeves. I have, let's see, I think this might be the only modification I'm doing. For the bottom, she says do a 1-inch rib and cast off, bind off. I think I'm going to do 1.5, and then I will bind off. Then I just need to pick up both the sleeves. I think I will leave it as a short sleeve top. I'll try it on just to double check, but yeah, I think that I will leave this as short sleeve, not make it into a long sleeve. Now I'm being indecisive in my brain, but anyways, it is going and it's going well. Oh, I guess my other modification is I didn't use the needle size recommended. I went down one. So of course then when I got to the ribbing, I went down another needle size since it was supposed to drop in needle size from there. I think that's the only modifications though. I have tried it on with these little try-on cords and it's fitting very nicely. So pleased as punch and glad that I finally get to show the color. So the color here is called Always Winter. It's part of the Narnia collection. It will be in the shop, let's see, either this next Friday or the following Friday. So next week is my son's spring break, and I'm not sure what our week is going to look like, if I will have a chance to load all of the Narnia up on the website. I have the entire Narnia series in full skeins that's going to be going up. It'll be on DK, on worsted, on 50-gram fingering weight, and then the regular fingering weight, which is sheepish. I think I have a couple on the Wayfarer, which is the 80/20. I feel like I'm missing some. Oh, I'll have sock sets. So yes, the entire collection will be available here soon. So again, either sign up for my newsletter or be on Instagram. If you're not a newsletter or Instagram, get on one of those. So that is that one. It is coming along. Let's see. Yes, honey. My dog is bored. She wants to go out and play with the ball, but it is still snowing like crazy, so the ball would be lost in a heartbeat. Okay, that brings us to number 11. I don't think I've been numbering all of these as I went, but number 11 is a Tolkien themed one, and I do not know if I have shown this one before, but I started it a long time ago, and I don't even know when I started it. So this is Woven Wood in Elven Home. I started this several months ago, and I started it as a vanilla sock, and I probably got that far into it, maybe far enough that I decided I wanted them to be these String of Lights pattern, Lindsay Sock Witchery. Wow, that's like a commercial for her. Every other project I've done has been Lindsay String of Lights. Well, I guess one was the Thursday socks. So again, Woven Wood Elven Home. And the reason I decided to go back and do this is it's almost a rib pattern, which means it's going to suck in a little bit more. These are going to be for my husband. And I've already knit him vanilla socks, and they're a little bit baggy on him. So I decided to go ahead and make it more of a ribbed pattern. He likes a long sock. If I could make these knee highs, he would be happy. He only wears them with jeans, so don't go with that whole picture of knee highs and shorts. He wears them with jeans when he goes to work. So yeah, we're partway through this one. I'll keep going on it. He is a size 11, I think. I'll have to look. I did one of those little things where I traced his foot, so I know exactly how long his foot is. I've made him a whopping total of 3 pair of socks. Maybe including this pair. This might be his 3rd pair. So I told him a few months ago, he was kind of complaining that he doesn't have many socks and my daughter and son have more. And I told him, you never wear your socks. Why would I knit you more? So all of a sudden, he's wearing them very often now. He points it out. See, I've got them on. See them. So I figured, okay, if he's going to wear them, I'll make them. Granted, 1 pair he wasn't wearing because they were a little baggy, and he likes things really tight. So hopefully this will do the trick. I know it will. The pair that was baggy, I did 72 stitches in the round. This is 64. These should be very good. The other pair that I've done them are DK weight, and I did them whatever the equivalent for 64 is. Those fit. So yeah, he's getting himself a pair of socks. And then he was also complaining that he wants a cowl, and I'm like, dude, you have more cowls and hats than the rest of us combined. But he'll probably get a cowl here once I'm done with that. That brings me to 12. And this is a project you've also seen. I started this September, October of 2021. So you guys have seen this one off and on. It is my son's blanket, which is going to be way too massive to show. But if you haven't seen it before, I will try to show it. I am basing it off of the Klein Deck pattern, which is a free pattern by Marina Pitzner. And then I just went through and came up with a plan of how I wanted it to go together. Color-wise, changing all of these so they kind of melted from the greens into the oranges. And let's see, since the last time I've done all of these black and black oranges, and just realized I'm holding the whole thing upside down, at least upside down for how I'm working on it. Then we just added in, we meaning me, these black and purples. So yeah, I've got 2, just working on the 3rd one of those, and moving right along on that. Oop, I'm all tangled. Yeah, this is going to be a twin-sized DK weight blanket for my son. So I am thinking at the rate I'm currently going, it'll be done somewhere between July of this year and the end of the year. I think the real kicker, besides of course staying on track with doing like a square every 3 days, the real kicker is going to be finishing it off. So I still don't know how I want to finish it off, if I want to do like an I-cord edge, or if you have any other ideas, please let me know. I could do something crocheted, I guess. I just want something so the edges look clean. Yeah, I mean, the edges are fairly clean where I have my start edges. Like, these are where I would cast on and then go across, but what about on the other side where I'm going to be finishing up? They're not as tidy. So they do this little swoop out each time. So I just feel like if I did maybe an I-cord around the whole thing, it would tidy that up, give it that tiny bit of finished look and structure. Maybe not, I don't know. Okay, so that is all of my finished projects and works in progress. Caveat, works in progress that I am currently working on. I still have a bunch of other works in progress, and that will be another episode. I think I will go through what I've got on the needles, or at least on the cables, because I often steal needles, and just talk through what's on there. Some things, I know I've frogged one thing, and I might be frogging another, but I'll try to show it before I frog it. And yeah, I think that'll be a whole nother episode where I talk about my other whips, my other plans, what 2023 is bringing for my knitting, but also for the shops. Let's see, life stuff. So you know that last December, my daughter graduated from college, and then we had Christmas and New Year's, followed that up quickly with her getting married. So she had been engaged for almost a year and a half. Yeah, so we had plenty of time to see this coming. It was just, we packed it into such a short amount of time. And by the time that her wedding was over, then we stayed at the condo where she just had moved out, and my son still, and just helped kind of get that ready for the new roommate, which is one of my son's good friends from high school. And so got that all ready, came back up here, and just like needed to kick back and relax from a crazy month. And by the time that we like kind of felt like we were getting our groove back and I was getting my creativity back, was the beginning of February. And by that point, we cycled through 4 people in our family being in the hospital, some multiple times, some not serious, some very serious. My mother-in-law did pass away, and we had a family member that was also seriously ill that is now doing well, and the other people are also doing well. So we had quite a February, beginning of March, and now it looks like things are back on track. People are healthy. Lord willing, we will stay healthy. And yeah, looking forward to my son coming out for spring break. Not sure what all we're going to do, but we have some plans for hanging out with him, which means that there'll probably be some driving, which means that there will probably be some knitting. So that'll be good. And I think that kind of wraps up everything that we've got going on in our life. However, I do have the giveaway to announce. So last December we hit 500 subscribers, and I'm probably going to make some noise here because I've got to move things. Let's see if I did that quietly enough. We have a giveaway, and I have a winner to announce. They will be getting a lotion bar by Be Simple 2 on Etsy, and a set of stitch markers, which we carry in the Dapper Sheep. This is Firefly Notes. So this is the birds and the bees, and they are just, like they said, little birds and bees stitch marker progress keepers. And then from Elfin Doings, I have a little project bag, which is very the perfect color for Peter Rabbit. So I have the name of the winner, and it is Megan, and you can contact me either direct message on Instagram, or you can email me. I'll have that in the description. And yeah, I have your things for you. It has been great to get back into the swing of things, and I think my next podcast will be in about 2 to 3 weeks. and we'll see how spring break goes, if I get anything done so I have something to show. And yeah, in the meantime, please like and subscribe. That lets YouTube know that you like this content. It recommends it to other people. That way our subscriber base builds and I can do more giveaways, which is of course always fun. So thank you for stopping by and spending some time with me.